guys, welcome back to Stitch with me. I am working on art gallery in the Main Street series by Cottage Needleworks. So yesterday I just filled in some of this. They call it Delft Blue, I guess because it's the blue of the Delft pottery. So I'm going to thread my needle and start back on that. Oops, dropped my needle. I've been using my needle threader more and more. I don't know what it is, but I've been having more trouble threading my needle. Could be because I was using Pat Carson. I had some Pat Carson needles and they have a bigger eye, but now I'm using regular DMC. I have some DMC needles, some of the John James. I want to try a petite needle. I've never tried one of those. So, I like John James. I like Pat Carson, which I know they're wrong side. I know that Pat Carson right now is discontinued, probably temporarily. But I didn't really feel a huge difference between the Pat Carson and the other ones as far as it affecting my stitching. The only difference was the eye is bigger. But as far as stitching goes, it's really not the brand, it's the size. Now, the Bowen needles, for some reason, I had a lot of trouble with Bowen when I tried Bowen. So, I gave those to someone because I wasn't going to use it. Oh, I'm doing a loop method, but trying to start with not the loop method. Yeah, so I just gave those away because I don't know what it was. It kept slipping out of my hand, and I was just having trouble with it. So, I know they're good needles. I just oh. Sorry about that. Alright, the camera's a little... I'm trying to get adjusted to make sure this is in the middle, or y'all can see what I'm doing. So, continuing the craft fair saga. So, y'all who have been with me for the past few episodes, I'm not even going to say the name, but the company that I mentioned in the first episode that I said, like, they're really annoying at a craft fair because it's not a craft business. It's not a handmade business. They're soliciting customers. It's a sales team. And I don't think that a sales team belongs at a craft fair, especially taking space away from people who are creating goods. So anyway, that's my personal opinion. So then I told y'all the next time that, you know, about the craft fair. Okay, I was supposed to have a meeting on Monday to kind of like hand over all the information. Me and my husband were with the coordinator, and because her last day is Friday at this job. And we were supposed to meet at the venue and review everything that's been done so far and take over. Well, they didn't show up for the meeting. And I was not happy. I was not happy because I had rearranged my day for that. And so it's rescheduled. I don't even know if it's today or tomorrow. I'm so aggravated. I don't even want to go. I just want to tell my husband to do it, but I need to do it. I'll have to check with him. So I was talking to my husband, and that night, or was it last night? No, it was that night. And I was telling him, I was like, look, yeah, we're not going to have any of that stuff. We're not going to have like sales, people trying to do like cold sales or whatever you call it at the craft fair. It's going to be people who either hand make items or baked goods or, you know, that type of thing. We have this one lady, she makes homemade jellies. Oh, they're so good. They are so good. Anyway, she makes like really interesting flavors too. And so, and I mentioned the name of that business, which I'm not going to mention anymore because I don't want to offend anybody. And he gave me this look like he didn't, because I was already mad. I was mad. And he gave me this look like I don't want to tell her. I was like, oh no. Because my husband's he's already got a bunch of applications on his desk of people that have already paid for their spot and been given a spot by the other coordinator. And he's like, yeah, they've already rented a spot. You're kidding me. You are kidding me. And there's nothing we can do for two reasons. One, this is a small town. My husband doesn't want to offend these people. He knows this lady. I mean, you know, so we don't have, because it's not our paperwork, our application, we don't have anything in there that says it has to be handmade goods. So we discussed it, and next year, if we're still doing it, we are going to make sure that everything says it has to be, because that's what there's a big craft show here in November, and it's a great craft show, and that's what they do. They specify in their application, like, it has to be handmade or like altered. Like, say you make t-shirts, you know, of course you're not hand making your t-shirts, but people are using their Cricuts to design the t-shirts, that type of thing. So there's no like selling of goods, like direct selling of goods. So let's just say, for instance, Tupperware. Now, I love Tupperware. I have Tupperware. But they're not going to give a table to Tupperware because it's not a handmade item. But there are other craft shows and vendor events where those people can buy tables and sell their products. So it's not like there's not an opportunity. It's just specifically craft shows. So anyway, yeah, there's actually a really cool little, I don't know what you call it. It's called it's like a open air market type thing that they built down, I call it downtown. For some reason here in the city closest to me, it's not a city, it's a bigger town. They don't call their downtown. They call it uptown. And people in my town, they'll say uptown. And I'm like, I have never heard that in my life. And I asked my husband, I'm like, why do people say uptown, like, instead of downtown? And he's like, I don't know. And he normally knows that kind of thing. I'm like, oh, this is, like, weird to me. Every other city I've ever been to, lived near, it's been downtown. And for some reason they say uptown. I guess they want, like, it to be cool or something. I don't know. Who knows? Hopefully y'all can see that. Like I said, my setup's a little... I'm trying to bring my phone down closer to the stitching, and you get a great view of my ugly hands, because I don't take care of my hands. I'm very guilty of that, because I was watching Fat Quarter Shop, and Kimberly Jolly was talking about her hand cream she uses, and how her hands do look good. And I'm like, man, my hands look awful. God. They look bad. So anyway, yeah, I'm just like, whatever. I'll just scrap everything. Alright, I'm gonna get a drink of coffee. So, today, Parker has a doctor's appointment. We've got to go get his meds adjusted for public school. So, we're gonna go do all that, because he has to be on a higher dose of medication for public school than homeschool. So we got to adjust his medication. We're adjusting bedtime. It's not going well. It's not. And last night, these past couple of days, I think what it is, it's a combination of us changing the schedule, but I think 90% of it is the fact that everything's changing. So we're having multiple, oh, somebody's honking the horn, my dog's probably going to bark. We're having multiple, and also it's school drop-off time, and it looks like a NASCAR track in front of my house right now. These cars are going zoom, zoom, zoom by my house. They're supposed to be driving like 15 miles an hour, and they go by so fast you can't even tell what kind of car it is. So this time in a couple of weeks, I'll be in that school. Not the school traffic here. I'll be in the school traffic at the other school where my son will go. So the school by me goes to 2nd grade. So he'll be in 5th grade. So anyway, it's just a general change. It's a lot of changes. And we're having to have a lot of discussions every day about public school. For instance, last night, I said, we were going, he wanted to go for a walk. So we were going for a walk. And I said, don't pick your nose at school. I said, kids will make fun of you if they see you picking your nose. He said, I don't care. I like to pick my nose. What am I going to do, y'all? Oh my gosh. I am just so freaked out. Because he's so hard-headed. He does not care. But I feel like, I don't know. He cannot go to school and do that. Like, he can't. He's not in 1st grade anymore. And I'm just like, buddy, you cannot do that. We talk about all this stuff about, social skills and all that. And he doesn't care. He says, I don't care. I want to do what I want. And he said, it makes me feel good to pick my nose when I'm doing my schoolwork. Please, no. Don't let him do it. Because it is a sensory thing. It's a sensory thing. So, now, he has fidget stuff. He has all that. But, like, when he goes through a phase, he's going to go through that phase. So, he just started this new thing when he stems. And, like, he's starting to sing. And so, it's very different because he's never been a kid that sings. So, he's been singing and humming, like, a lot. So, it's really cute. I like when he does that. But, yeah. So, anyway. And he gets a haircut today. So, he's going to look sharp for going back to public school. He needs a haircut bad. I had to cut around his ears because he was taking his hair and twirling it and sticking it inside his ear. And then he got a hair stuck in his ear. So, that's another sensory thing. So, we got to get his hair cut. I trimmed around his ears so that he couldn't reach inside his ears. But we hadn't made it to the actual barber, or I'm going to take him, sorry if I bumped that. I'm going to take him to Sports Clips. They're good with him there. And he's used to going there, so. When he was young, haircuts was the ultimate nightmare. I mean, he couldn't take the vibration of the clippers, but he couldn't sit still for scissors, and it was always a nightmare. Always. So he's just really good now. Especially if he's had his medication. If he hasn't had his medication, he's real wiggly, and it's hard for them to cut his hair. So he really has to have his medication to get a haircut, so that he can sit still and just watch a video on his phone. And they go fast. They know he needs a fast haircut. I always tell him, like, look, it's not about it looking perfect. Just cut his hair. Get him in, get him out. You're going to get the same tip, whether he's got, it's Eve. I mean, I literally, it doesn't have to look good. I mean, you know what I'm saying. It looks good. They do a great job. But whereas, say, if my husband goes, they're going to spend a lot more time. But with him, they know he's got to get in and out. So anyway, a lot of times the girl that is there cutting his hair or working knows him because her daughter was in therapy at the same time as Parker when they were little. So we would sit and talk during their therapy appointments. So, and they also went to preschool together. So, she knows him. Make sure I'm in frame. How am I doing on time? I can't see it. Bear with me. I can't see the little timer. It looks like maybe 15 minutes. Okay, I got some more to go. So that's what we're doing today. Yesterday, I had a new start. I'll show y'all. I can't show you the cover because it's behind. There we go. Somebody's late dropping their kid off. They're hitting that gas pedal. Let me tell you what. A lot of times my dogs like to go. I've probably told this before, but I'm going to tell it again. A lot of times my dogs like to go out and go potty about 7:30. And between 7:30 and 8 is when a lot of the cars are going by. So the closer it gets to 8, the more people go fast. And it's pretty funny sometimes when I'm walking my dogs because I live by a blind curve. So they're going way too fast. They come around that curve and there's barely enough room for 2 cars to pass each other. So people really need to slow down. So I'll be out there with my dogs and they'll come around and hit the brakes every time because they're realize they're going too fast. So anyway, I started, I'll put a picture up if I think about it when I'm editing. Teresa Kogut's Santa's Young Buck. It's from the Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine. So I started this yesterday and actually I worked on it this morning. All I got done was this. Other than my 25/7, that's all the stitching I got done yesterday. Because I was working on my quilt-alongs I'm doing with Candace. So I didn't get much stitching done. But I love this. There's the moon and this starts a star. And this is on 25 count Lori Holt Prim, which is what I stitched Winter Rose Manor on. This is a scrap from that. I love this fabric. It's so easy to stitch on. It's so smooth and easy and the holes are big and I just love it. So, which I like stitching on all kinds of fabrics. And I received my fabric from Grace Note Stitchers. Their fabric of the month is probably one of my favorite fabrics I've ever had ever. I love it that much. So, I'll show that on my floss tube. I may film my floss tube tomorrow because my mom has a doctor's appointment Friday. So I'm not sure what time her appointment is, but I'm just going to assume that I'm not going to have time to do floss tube because even though it takes me about an hour to actually film the floss tube, I have to set up, prepare, and then after I have to edit it and then upload it. I have to process the video and on my editing app, then I have to upload it to YouTube. So it takes about, till the whole process takes about 3 or 4 hours. So, yeah, I'll probably do it tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I spent my free time quilting or piecing blocks yesterday. And I'm not done. I got about 1/3 of the way through or something. So I'm like, why did I say that I was going to do 2 versions of the same block again? This is a lot of work. What was I thinking? That's going to be the thing when Parker is back in school. I am going to have more time, which, hang on a second, I got to sneeze. Sorry. I'll try to edit it out. Okay, I got sneeze, but it's not COVID. It's teasing me. So, yesterday, the local college, and I missed 2 stitches right here. I missed 2 white stitches. I have to go back and fix that. The local community college that I actually graduated from there in 2015 with my associates in accounting, they announced yesterday that they have funding to where you don't have to pay tuition. They have funding to cover everybody's tuition. So, the only thing is, I called because I have a 2-year degree from there. I didn't know if I would qualify. So, basically what they do is they see what grants you're eligible for, and then once they apply any grants you're eligible for, then this funding will cover the remaining balance. But it doesn't cover books, but it covers everything else as far as your tuition goes. But you're responsible for books and, So, I went ahead and applied because I do have my 2-year accounting degree, but I have been thinking about trying to do something where I can work from home more easily. Because my original plan was that I needed something I could do as Parker got more independent. Let's see what color's next. M798. As Parker got more independent, I could spend some time working from home while he's doing homeschool or whatever. So anyway, I went ahead and applied. I did my application for the medical coding and billing program because I have a couple friends that do that. And I know I can do it from home. And because I've already been to school there, I already have all the classes for the first year. I just need the classes for the second year. And then you take a test. And if you pass that test, then you can get hired for that job. And you can also work in doctor's offices and stuff around here. So anyway, I went ahead and applied because I talked to the lady and she's like, well, what people are doing is because they literally just found out they were getting this funding. So they don't really know yet all the details. So she's like, just to, apply and see what happens. Because that's all, at this point, that's all we know. So that's what we'll do. So if I do get the funding to cover my tuition, then I would take those classes while Parker's at school. But I think it's online anyway. So even if he's not in school, I can still take the classes. So, and if it's not covered, it's fine. I'll maybe do it another time. And then another option that we've talked about is me going back to substitute teaching if public school works out. So I can, which I love substituting. So, we'll see. We have a lot of challenges we have to get through. I mean, it's extremely stressful. Because if I just think about his day step by step, it's so much. It's so much for him. I mean, going to school, okay, they get there, they have to sit in the hallway and be quiet and wait for the class to start. And then, okay, so the number of kids in the class, he's sensitive to sound. So that's that many kids in the class for sound. He likes to talk when he wants to talk. He's not good at holding his tongue. So, man, this car's going fast. You know why? Because it's 7:59. That they're considered late if it's 8 o'clock. They're trying to skate in there before they eat. Because what the teachers do when it hits 8 o'clock, they just turn around and go straight through that gate. They don't, unless there's an issue like that caused the car line to get backed up that was out of people's control. If you got in that car line, At 8 o'clock or later, you got to come in the office and sign your kid in. Because they're not playing. Because what will happen is they'll sit there and let people in, and then it'll get backed up, and then all the other people are late, and then their kids don't get counted tardy, so they don't care. They'll turn around and walk into school. So yeah, 7:58, 7:59, they are flying by here. So anyway, there's just a lot. He is sensitive to sounds like people eating. He absolutely cannot stand to hear people eat. So I ordered him a new pair of noise-canceling headphones to wear at lunch. I'm hoping he can actually do something else at lunch. Let me find out where I'm at. But I just don't know. We have to discuss it on his plan. Because I don't want him to be the kid sitting there with headphones on at lunch. Like, that's a hard stigma to overcome. So, I'm hoping, because of his medication, he's not going to eat lunch. He's just going to sit there. So, I'm hoping that maybe he can go to the special education classroom or something like that and do homework or something like that instead of going to the lunchroom. So that's what I'm going to advocate for, but that may take a little while to get, because you can't just say you want something and get it. You have to go through the process of the paperwork and documentation and all that. So we'll see. I've got to readjust my leg. Okay. And he is not used to, he's not used to having to have the stamina for a full day of school. So, he's going to be tired and cranky, because he's used to getting his work done quick and not taking all day to get school done. So, the scheduling, the stamina, the noise, but those are the challenges, but there's going to be a lot of benefits. He's going to learn a lot more independence. He's going to be able to make friends. He's going to have kids to help teach him social skills. Because kids learn most things from other kids, you know. And it's not just bad stuff they learn from other kids. They learn a lot of good, positive social skills from other kids. So, you know, he's going to have a lot of opportunities for that. And all that. It's just, I'm just a worrywart. Just a worrywart. I'm not worried about the education part. The educational part's fine. It's all the other stuff. Going to the restroom. So, yeah. It's going to be different. But it's alright. Different doesn't mean bad. It just means different.